Yo, all right, how honest are we gonna be with each other on these ordeals? Cause it's the weekend, and I may, be taking it easy this weekend, and I may feel just a little bit good. So forgive me, all right, if I'm a little, what I'm saying, a little relaxed as I get through this particular sesh. But yes, we did lose, and that's why we got the sad music on right now. It's not the good music, it's the sad music. Because yeah, we lost, but as it says in the header, we still got a victory. How do we get a victory even though we lost? I'll explain at the end. So stick on through it. I'm gonna try to make this one short because we do have a game today. It's Sunday. I'm actually taping this on the same Sunday where we have the doubleheader with the Boston Red Sox at home because the game was rained out yesterday. Evidently, it was rained out in Boston, so we couldn't have a game. So we are where we are right now. And unfortunately, the game did not turn out the way we probably would have liked, but it is what it is. We are where we are. It matters not. We gonna do what we do. So for the time being, let's go ahead and at least talk about how we got to where we got, and the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything that's going on in this Boston Red Sox series thus far. Well, the first thing I can say is that it was nice to see Ivan continuing his streak of popping these things out the park. Boy, the boy ain't playing. I ain't gonna lie. Bro, I hope you clean, because if you're going to come slinging out the park like this out the blue after last year, they're going to start wondering, well, what happened? What changed? Don't let them profile you. I hope you good. All right, I hope it's just a Pujols situation and not more of a Mark McGwire situation. So, yes, keep doing your thing. But in all honesty, that was dope. That was a 3-run shot. Definitely helped us get closer to not losing, even though we still lost. It was 6-1 at that point. After that, obviously, it ends up being 4-1. This one came right after it, the pop from Brendan Donovan. So I thought the pop from Brendan Donovan was actually hella significant because this one kept the momentum going. It was really good to see this happen. So shout out to this this part of the game. I was geeked about it. And so my man Brendan Donovan continuing to show and prove that the ball is consistent, even though I know he had that little, a couple weird plays not too long ago. He still is showing he is cemented within this Cardinals core. So yes, we have 2 more games today, and let's just keep it 100. Like I said, if we're gonna be honest with each other, it wasn't a pretty game. It wasn't pretty, right? Especially that first inning. In fact, it wasn't not just pretty; it was downright ugly. And it's almost a 5-alarm alert type. Whoa, let's have a meeting, front office. What are we going to do about our pitching staff type thing right now? Because let's just keep it real, guys. Let's keep it real. We got stomped. That first inning was terrible. It was ugly. It was hard to watch. You didn't want to watch it. 5 runs in the first inning of a home opener in your ops part. Bro. And listen, I'm a man. Fetty had a good game last week, so we don't want to sit here and knock him. He had a birthday a couple weeks ago, so we don't want to sit here and knock him. But at the same time, bro, whew. Now here's what you can say: pro and con. All right, pro and con. We're glad this happens earlier in the season, right? Like at least we're hoping that this gets the preseason, the early season jitters out the way before we start getting into the meat and potatoes, before All-Star weekend start rolling around and stuff like that. All-Star break, start rolling around and stuff like that. But we're not going to sit here and BS around and like this dude didn't just pull a whole bunch of, like we didn't just really, really, really get stomped in that first inning. It was like, it got real ugly. And if we're going to sit here and ignore it and act like it's just going away, I don't know if that's the way to do it. If I'm being honest, it was a little embarrassing. They just was going back to back against us, y'all, and it was the first inning. And this is one of them instances where out in the outfield they looking at each other like newborn, and they looking at each other like, man, come on now, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's one thing if it's a bad fielding opportunity that you've missed, you didn't catch the ball, you misstepped, you didn't anticipate which way it was going, and you chose the wrong place to anticipate it's an oppo shot. But you can't stop a home run. You can't jump and catch something that goes out the green monster. That doesn't happen. I have yet to see that happen. And I'm talking if we don't show my age, like Bugs Bunny cartoons and stuff like that. So these are home runs. These are home runs. Trevor Story hit a home run for 2 in the first inning. And then Will Abreu comes right behind him. It's a 3-run homer. It's 5-0 in the first inning, bro. What are we supposed to do to that? What's supposed to happen? I mean, yeah. So what ends up happening is the Cards fight on. The Cards was like, all right, I see y'all got your little fight. Okay, cool. Even though they came back even later after that and put another one on the board. But the first thing that happens is our boy Nootbaar, of course, Mr. Baby Jordan himself, pulls up, throws one into the field, of which Victor Scott ends up running in off of a Mason Wynn pop. This happens in the 3rd inning, so we happy about that. That's cool, but it's still 5-1. St. Louis down. Unfortunately, the next inning, the bottom of that inning doesn't get no better because Carlos Nevaez ends up singling, which unfortunately gives him another run because Christian Campbell goes in. After he goes in, Christian Campbell had a decent little start or whatever. I mean, offensively, defensively, another story. We'll get to that a little later. But yeah, so now it's 6-1 for them Cardinals. And this is when Nootbaar once again, not Nootbaar. This is when Ivan does his thing. Well, you could say Nootbaar as well because he did actually, if I'm not mistaken, have 2 on base. Nolan Arenado was on base and Burleson was on base, if I'm not mistaken. So this shot means that they were still hitting. So it's still working. Cardinals is still doing a thing. And Herrera maintains his streak of knocking balls out in the park for the last few games. Whoa. So impressive. Absolutely impressive. Loving it. Love to see it. Want to continue seeing it. But unfortunately didn't walk away with the win in this particular instance. So that's the sad part about this. But good news still exists within bad outcomes sometimes. So here's the part I was saying when it said we squeeze out a victory despite the fact that we did not end up winning. So even though we didn't win, and we were about to lose pretty bad too. Let's keep it real. The Cards showed a lot of resilience during this game. Like you got to remember, this pop right here came when we were down 6-1. So this is an opportunity for us to say, nah, man, let's bring it into the next series. But this is a big deal, this pop. This was right in the 4th inning. All right. So this was the beginning of what looked like could have been a rally. Next thing, top of the 5th inning, Brendan pop hits another one out. Okay, now it's 6-5. Now, unfortunately, the Boston Red Sox came back with another run after that, then another run after that, but it ends up being 8-5. But then Brendan ends up singling out, and Nootbaar scores in the next inning, so we end up with 6-8. Then he goes a little crazy. The bottom of the 7th, the Boston Red Sox end up scoring 9, 10, 11. Pitching wasn't on point at that point in time. At this point, there was a few problem children in our batter's box, in our pitching, in our bullpen. As you see right there, 4th from the bottom, Mr. John King was getting hit all over the place. He had 4 hits against him, which was not good. Okay, look at all of the pitchers, man. We're looking at not looking too good this game. A lot of high ERAs, with the exceptions of Matt's, who wasn't even in, but it's that long. The 3 innings he conquered his thing, kept them from running, but did get folks on base. But that first inning with Fetty was a real problem child. All right. Now, even despite all this, Abreu, man, somehow managed to get a ground into a double play. Mason and then a Trevor got out at first. So at this point in the bottom of the 8th, it's 6-12. It looks real bleak for the Cardinals, right? It looks real bleak. Campbell ended up scoring again. But at the top of the 9th, something weird happens, right? Something strange. We start to see like glimmers of hope. Like stuff is happening on the field that we didn't expect. We almost expect them to be like, all right, well, the game's just about over. It is what it is. We ain't much hit. We ain't much did nothing. Boys didn't want to give up. They came back up to bat and listen. Why does it keep doing that? And listen, for what it's worth, they fought back. They were not trying to go out like that. They fought back to being within 1 at bat of tying the game. That's how good they was fighting. And that top of that 9th inning, Wilson Contreras got on base. Brendan got on base. Nolan Arenado got on base. It was a full loaded base affair. And guess who's up to bat? Oh, the slugger himself, the dude who's been on fuego, who they gonna test. I'm sorry, dog. I ain't trying to put you out there, but they gonna test you, bro. There's something going on, so I hope you clean. Yo, so he is up to bat, and guess what, guys? It doesn't happen. He doesn't get it. Strikes out. I mean, yeah, it's cool. You can't win them all, right? But the fact that they were down 6-13 in the ninth, 6-13, and came to within one slug of winning in that ninth. That says to me that if you take away that first inning with Fetty Wap, excuse me. I'm not playing games and do that, man. If you take away that inning with Fetty, where Fetty didn't have his strongest stuff, let's just say, then there is a strong possibility. In fact, I would dare say a likelihood that they would have won this game. So I don't know, man. I just happen to feel like there might, I don't know. Our pitching is way weaker than we may have originally thought, or maybe just me. I mean, I didn't expect them to be, the same pitching staff of the Dodgers. I mean, whose is, right? But my goodness, it's pretty. I'm happy we've been able to do what we've been able to do with what we have. But man, it's been tough watching what we have been able to hold back from these other offenses. And I don't know how we can say that gets any better. I mean, the only thing I can honestly see, which sounds like it makes no sense, but the only thing I can actually see is if we start looking heavily into our farm system for some additional hands and additional arms, because it's not looking good for what it is that we got going on with our current rotation. I mean, Sonny has had some good starts. I mean, he's had a good start. I think he's only had one start thus far. Palante has had a good start. Eddie had a good start, but it quickly went to so that's not good. This game, it doesn't look that great. Fernandez has been run on. JoJo has lost us again. Got a game tied. We're not strong. We don't have that same Wainwright, Chris Carpenter, Michael Walker. We need to secure the mound right now, all right? And hopefully we're working on that, because that is of high priority, because we're not going to be able to fool nobody with Ivan Herrera making a bunch of headlines. Oh, that's great. That's all fine and dandy. Thank you so much, Ivan Herrera, for bringing us some headlines. But the pitching is going to have to be what it is that keeps us from getting 5 runs knocked on us within the first inning. You know what I'm saying? Like that can't be it. That's not it, bro. That's not it. So eat as much tape as you need to. Practice as much with the sim. Get out there. I still am like trying to understand what happened with the Lance Lynn thing. Did we really offer him that low of a contract? We can't get about $8-9 million for a year or so. I don't know. Y'all act like the pitching is secure. We know it's not. In fact, right now it's looking like the offense is starting to sink, but the pitching is dragging us down. We literally could have won this game had we not had 5 runs off of home runs. Mind you, I know the other ones, they got to get on base. Not much you can do about ground balls that go certain ways, but it wasn't like there was errors. Okay, this was unfortunate pitching. Okay, so let's come to grips with that reality. All right, couple other good pointers. Our boys did get on. Let's talk about a little bit of the box scores. Let's do some of the box right quick. So yes, we did actually have a fairly decent game when it comes to the offense. If we're looking at Nootbaar, look at his average. Like, his average has been 4, I believe, like damn near all of the games. It's either high 3 or 4. So right now he's doing like he's pulling some like George Brett type numbers. Like it's kind of dope what we're seeing Newt do, and he hasn't had a bad game yet. Contreras once again hit the ball. Look at Mason Wynn at the bottom. 2 hits. He's getting the hot bat back. Look, the AVG, the average is going back up. It used to be the mid to high 2s, and he's got to start from that really low level. So that's all good. Now, it wasn't Scott's best day today with regard to hitting, but he did at least still draw a walk, which is definitely good. Struck out, but it's all good, man. You're not going to win them all. But he had a phenomenal defensive play running to catch the ball. Had a couple of them, actually, running out there, leaping, jumping. Man, he really, really looks good in center field. I thought nobody could do better than Siani. But damn, Victor Scott, the boy is hot on the field. So, yeah, it's exciting to watch. So, look forward to seeing what the season does for him. Let's continue. Herrera. Look at that, man. Herrera, bro, only struck out once, has a hit, and with that hit, it's a homer. And he runs in 3. See, I'm talking about breakout star. This is what Marmol was talking about when he said, we're going to let the boys play, give them a long runway, give them some time. This is the difference I'm seeing from last season to this. Not the up, down, secure positions. This your job. It's your job to do your job. Love it. All right, so we got Burley. Did get struck out, but he also had 3 hits, so he had a perfect game if you don't think about it other than that. I mean, well, obviously he's not perfect if you get struck out once, but man, if you get hit 3 times, if you hit 3 times, that's a good day for me if you had to shoot. Arenado, he only had that 1 hit, but it was clutch because it ended up giving us a run that we needed. He was on base when Ivan hit the home run, so that was essential. Almost brought us to winning, or at least tying, excuse me. Donovan, I already told you, but boy, Donovan, bro, he had his day. Look, he had a perfect day. The boy had a perfect day. I mean, maybe not. I think he had a fly out or a ground out, but still, he's on point. And as I already mentioned, Contreras and Nootbaar did his thug thizzle, and he is keeping on his MVP campaign, changing the culture of the Cardinals, along with Ivan Herrera. These newfound stars, even though we had already these stars on our team, are showing and proving what it is that the front office been saying about we're gonna let the boys do what it is that they do. We're gonna let them give them a little runway this year and let them pop and let y'all just see what we working with. And so thus far it is working. So appreciate that. So hallelujah. I'm looking forward to this game today. I'm a little nervous once again, man, because we don't know what to expect. However, if yesterday is of any indication that we have something to look forward to today after being rained out yesterday, it is that we are not so far removed from the possibility that we could win against these Red Sox. They're not so good. In fact, if you remember in the latter half of the game, Christian Campbell, their star new second baseman that just got called up and had to ask, oh, do I get a roommate and all of this? He had some really crucial errors in some of them final innings, which gave us an opportunity. And thank goodness the Cardinals have enough sense to take advantage of it. But it wasn't just him. When I first saw that happen, and I was like, all right, he's a young boy. He's a rookie. Then Bregman overthrew second base at one point in time. Mr. Gold Glove Bregman, the dude that stole Rafi's position. This dude had a terrible play. And it was a crucial one because it damn near put the Cardinals, I won't say in the lead, but damn near gave them ability to tie. So, I mean, I don't think these Red Sox are that. Let me not say this. Let me say it like this. I believe that the Cardinals are fully capable of defeating the Red Sox for these last 2 games, even in Fenway. Do I think it's likely? No. Do I think it's very possible? Absolutely. Would I be surprised if they did? No. Ecstatic? Absolutely. Sad if they didn't? Of course not. Would it make sense if they didn't? To an extent, but if they didn't, it would not be because of the effort from the position players, is my point. The position players are vibing right now. There's a whole vibe. I don't know if you've been peeping it, but the vibe is real. There's something going on. They're giving me low-key 2024 Mets vibes where they've got a little clubhouse energy. Even Gorman over there is like, yo, fly, baby bird, fly. And that's what I'm talking about, man. I think that that's necessary. I think that vibe is what is going to keep this clubhouse pumping as they try to continue to make headlines. Now, look, Nootbaar has been in the news because of his phenomenal batting average and OPS. Herrera is now in the news because he hit 3 home runs in 1 game. All right, as a catcher, almost breaking Cardinals records. Wilson Contreras is in the news for, of course, eating, as we all do at some point. Don't act like you ain't never did it before. I mean, it's these things that happen. So, it is popping right now. We're doing our thing. We are a vibe. And y'all better get on board because this ain't stopping right now. It feels good. The things that could disrupt this are if Nolan Arenado gets traded real quick out the blue, or if we don't start we don't start getting our pitching on point. All right. Let's not forget about this. All right. Let's not forget. These things are happening. They're not happening in a vacuum. in a vacuum. All right. So that's that with regard to what's going on with the Cardinals. I got to get a graphic for that, man. I want to call that like Homer time or Cardball or something. I haven't made up my complete mind about what I want to call it yet, but I don't know. I really want to call it something. But yeah, I think that's about it. I didn't really have much of anything else going on out there other than the fact that I do see that the Yankees have pulled much further away than I expected them to. I did have the Yankees not making the playoffs, but now that it already hit like 35 home runs in the first like 5 or 6 games or like 8 games or something, like, it's crazy. And the Padres did finally lose, but man, and the Dodgers also finally lost. But it still looks like everything is on par to be the way everybody expected. The Yankees are good. The Mets are getting better. They're jiving better. I think they're still trying to find – the Mets are trying to find a new vibe right now. That's my opinion on it. I think the Mets don't really know who they are yet because now that they have Soto, they don't know how to really gel. Again, I think that it's more like the Mets having to learn like how this vibe works. You know, they've been winning. They've been having fun doing it. They don't really have that same, you know, last year it was Grimace, you know, and OMG and taking the pictures. And you don't see that yet. You don't see it yet. Not saying you won't, but whatever that thing is that makes the Mets jive, whatever that thing is that makes the Mets so fun. This year, it's more like a business as usual. Let's win, win, win. And they're doing their job. I mean, you know, it's fun to watch them. You know, I'm not a Mets fan, but I like watching good baseball games, and they provide good content in that regard. But it's not the same Mets as last year. And I'm not saying that that's bad or good. I don't think it makes a difference. Even with the addition of Juan Soto, there's just something different. And who knows whether or not that's going to be a determining factor into their success or not. I happen to think it won't be. I ain't gonna lie. It just makes them less entertaining, in my opinion. But that don't matter. You know what I'm saying? Who cares about being entertaining or not? You know, and I hate to admit this, but frankly, a team that's kind of entertaining is these dumbass Red Sox. Like, I like this shit. This shit was funny. The whole putting this on his head when Trevor hits the home run. That's just funny, all right? And it was fun to watch. Like, I like goofy ass shit like this. Like, this is entertaining to me. And ultimately, the game of baseball is a sport. Sports are forms of entertainment, especially when they're televised and put on streaming services and put in you know, in a public arena where you can go purchase tickets to watch. It's not just to see the dope things that happen with the baseball players' talent, which is the predominant thing, but it's also the vibe you get from being there in public, from being able to sit back, get you a hot dog and some nachos and have some bad decision type of appetite eatery, drink you a beer and drink you a soda, sit there and watch, dodge foul balls and chat with the neighbor that also loves your team just as much as you. Like, there's a whole lot of elements of baseball that go into baseball outside of just watching them hit the ball and run to the base and pitch. Like, there's just the pure entertainment element, the love of it, just the smell of it, the oh yes, the culture of it. And the Red Sox get it. Last year, the Mets got it. You know, last year the Mets got it. The Dodgers got it last year. Who else got it? I think the Mariners get it too. The Tigers to an extent. I don't know. We'll just have to see. Well, anyway, that's all it is for the day. We do have a double header today. So two games today that we will have to play back to back because of it being rained out yesterday in Fenway. So we'll have to see how this goes. And of course, we're going up against the youngster Christian Campbell, who had some foulable plays, some folly plays yesterday, but yet and still rooting for the young redheaded brother. He kind of gives me El Haj Malik Shabazz, a young Malcolm X. You know, when it was Malcolm Little, like, you know what I'm saying? He gives, you know, that's what he looked like. He had red hair like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, Christian Campbell looks like a young Malcolm X, but, you know, without the perm. Let's just keep it G. He do. Don't sit there and act like you don't. The boy look like a young El Haj Malik Shabazz. Malcolm Little. What's going on, pimp? Yeah, this is him before he turned into Islam. This is him before he got locked up and was hustling. Yeah, what's up, El Haj Malik Shabazz? I see you over there, homeboy. You ain't fooling nobody. Who is your real daddy? You might ask. You got to ask the real questions. So yeah, other than that, man, I'll go ahead and release thee to the wild. Yo, check in with me again as I'm gonna go ahead and pop this up for our next appointment, which will hopefully be an update for the previous which I think is at 1:30 Eastern, and the last game, which I think is at 7-something Eastern. So we'll have a review on those things. Appreciate each and every last one of you who are giving me a chance, because I ain't gonna lie, this is weird for me. It's not the type of subject I normally talk about, and I'm not used to talking about things by myself, even though I talk to myself, but I don't answer myself. Don't talk to me. That's always good. Man, let me get on up out of here, man. Appreciate it. New logo and update coming soon. But until then.